Welcome to Conversations with the Authors.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Conversations with the Authors. Thank you to our composer, Alexander Nagarata, for composing the intro. I'm your host, Daniel Troop.
And I'm Daryl.
And I'm Sandra.
And today, we have a very special episode because it's not just Conversations with the Authors, it's Superfans with the Authors. And on the phone today, your voice is our voice, Chico Marin. How are you, Chico?
I am good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. So we're going to have a chit-chat, and you get to ask anything you want, anything your heart's desires, whether it's about the book or the writing process. We are all ears and ready to go.
Let me ask her a question, though.
Oh, please do.
Oh, did you like the book?
I love the book.
Definitely.
I love the book so much. I remember that I asked you for, what's the word? Like a signature?
Yes.
Oh, an autograph,
You signed
eh?
my book. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan, and I've recommended it to everybody that I know.
Well, it's
That's
wonderful.
great.
We're glad.
I am so pleased.
Oh, I think while we have you here, we'll let you know that we're going to be at the American Library Association in June on the 25th from 10 o'clock to 12. The whole conference goes from the 23rd of June to the 26th, but we're going to be there on Sunday, from 10 to 12, and we're going to sign books and we're going to give books away. And we're trying our best to get this into the libraries and get this out to a lot of other people.
This is one of the largest and oldest library associations in the world.
It's going to be held at
McCormick
Place
right?
in Chicago. If you come, I will add my signature to your book.
Okay.
And
We'll do that.
dear listeners and readers, if you're listening to this podcast, and I hope you do, if you show up, as long as the books are there, you can get yourself a free signed copy. So please make yourself here, and perhaps we can have a conversation while we're at it.
Chico, there was a lot of magic in the book. How'd you like that?
I actually liked it a lot. Because I do love those type of books, so this was perfect for me. And I was actually going to ask you and Sandra, what inspired you guys to write the book about how Nicholas became Santa Claus?
Well, he never had really a backstory, and my wife has been fiddling with that for years and years. Tell her.
I have been fiddling that since the day our children were born in early 1979, and I was hoping to use the magic in the book to show the kids that no matter what you have to overcome, with a little bit of ingenuity and imagination, you could overcome anything.
So when she came to me years later, she had about 10 pages that she wrote, and I was writing something else. And I looked at it and I said, this is really good. I like this. I said, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to take those 10 pages with you, and we're going to blow it up into a full-size book. So we got together and we started writing, and every time she wrote something, when I came home from work, I read it. I said, now it's time to blow that up into multiple pages. So that's what we did.
I would show him pictures, little sketches that I had drawn or something that I had seen in a magazine. This is what the background should look like, and this is what the animals should sort of look like, and he would take and he'd put that into words and blow it up.
Very
really
inspiring.
Chico, I got to ask you, okay, so you find out that there's a story about how Nicholas became Santa Claus. You now have the book in your hand, this beautiful cover. What drew you to the book first? What was your first impression upon receiving the book and seeing the cover and the title and its just amazing fabrication?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about how I found out about the book.
Oh, please do, yeah.
I actually found out about the book from somebody else, not even Dr. Kirk.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Somebody I know that I work with told me about an amazing book that she read, and she said, you have to read it. And she's like, it's actually Dr. Tripp who wrote it. I'm like, really? And then I went and bought it. what I loved about it is that I have the cover, and it reminds me very much of was a series on HBO. It's called it's about dragons.
Do the words Game and Thrones happen to be part of it?
Yes. Listen, I loved it. I love the dragon on the page. I love the way Nicholas looks on the page. And I loved the design, everything. I think it's amazing. It actually captured me in. And so when I started reading it, it was the details, the way you describe everything in the book. I absolutely love it. I feel like I can see your vision.
It's cinematic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's
very
good.
much so. So I would also like to ask, is there any plans for more books or like maybe turning it into a movie?
Well, as a matter of fact, we're hoping to get a screenplay done this summer and have it shopped around to some of the studios. I'm told by my publishing company just a few days ago that they had a meeting about the book. They liked it a great deal, and some of the people there at the meeting were some of the producers of the new movie John Wick, and they liked the movie. I mean, they liked the book.
And they also agreed with you. It did have familiar traits to Game of Thrones.
They did say that. They did say that. So we're very optimistic about it, and so we hope to get this screenplay done, started this summer. It's probably going to take. What did it say? About 3 months to get that done, right?
Yeah.
And then they're going to shop it around to some of the studios and see if we can get option. But yeah, and the answer to the other part of the question, is there a sequel? Yes, there is, and I'm working on that now. It has a title. It's called The Darkly Heart, and it's I've got about 289 pages of it written already. And I've got 10 more scenes to write. But before I wrote those, I decided to go back over the old book because I had stopped writing for a while, for various reasons. And I wanted to refamiliarize myself with the book and make some corrections. So I'm probably almost at page 100 right now of just my corrections and revisions. And once I get up to, the end of where I stopped, then I'm going to write those new scenes. And then I'll be finished with it.
And there's also possibly a third one in the works because I'm working on one that involves all the oddlings.
Nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Now, Chico, have you read the whole book? Have you finished the book?
I have finished the book. I have read the whole book. I didn't want to give too much away because I definitely want to read.
Yes, no spoilers.
Yes, it's just the way it's written. I feel like I can see what you guys were writing. Like I feel like I'm a part of the adventure. Right. To answer your story, yes, I have finished the book.
Yeah, and we talked earlier in some of the podcasts about how the details. It's not just visual, but it's about smell and taste too. There's a lot of food and there's a lot of smells involved in the story as well. And I'm wondering, no spoilers, what character do you see yourself most in? Do you identify with any particular character in the story?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I actually identified with Nicholas' father, Tom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. I liked how, he saw a helpless baby and became involved. And then, I feel like he's the reason why Nicholas became Nicholas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is.
And I love the story about adoption too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I actually like that is his background. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes,
I definitely resonated with him and his kind heart, and for him to stop by and try to help Nicholas's family, which then turns into him become Nicholas's father.
Right.
So I thought that was amazing, and I thought, that is something that I would do. So yeah, he resonates with me.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's
Good. I'm so glad. I was hoping that people would have a cinematic view of the story, that they could actually see it in their mind. Since I don't have the ability to film a movie myself, I know about the mind. I thought maybe I could just paint that picture in people's brains, so they could see it. And when I write, I write in pictures, and when I'm sitting there actually typing out something, I picture it as if I'm looking at a movie screen. So I start describing things kind of like a colored commentator at a baseball game or at a football game if you were doing it on the radio.
I would completely agree with that. Absolutely.
And I can tell you that you did an amazing job, both you and Sandra, because they, like I said, when you're reading it, the taste, the feels, it feels like you're in it. I feel like I can see what it is that you were trying to tell as a story. Mm-hmm. So I definitely enjoyed that, and I think that's what really also drew me in. It was hard to stop.
Oh, that's good.
No,
That's
there have been other stories of, the telling of Nicholas and how Nicholas becomes Santa Claus. Do you feel that this was a good and unique divergence from the original, from the sort of popular storytelling? Do you feel surprised and sort of, I don't know, accomplished?
Yes, I feel surprised, accomplished, and I feel like this is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of them, and I don't want to criticize them. They did what they were supposed to do.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Exactly.
a lot of them were very saccharine, and childlike. I wanted to get something that was realistic to some degree.
Yeah.
And something that you could really feel.
Yeah, I really feel this.
Something more original.
Yeah, and I think it really sort of caters to the entire audience and not just a select few.
Right.
I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
When I started the project, I didn't want him to look like the cartoon version of him from the Coke can. I wanted him to have personality, and I wanted him to show everything from growing up temper tantrums to adult temper tantrums.
And curiosity, and and there are a couple of there's a kind of a love story there too, because he falls in love with Sarah,
Right.
and then I show the relationship between Wallace and Marina. The king, the prince of Waters. And so in their relationship,
But I also wanted to show where being taught responsibility and manners and respect and to have faith is important in life, and that you really can't get what you need or want out of life without having those things.
I think also, Chico, and I think you'll agree that I think the story did a really great job of making this man, this myth, this legend, Santa Claus, into somebody who seems identifiable and real, truly real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you were taking him from birth all the way not birth, but as a young baby all the way up to his 18th year, and then further. So. I was happy with it. I was actually myself, even as the author, when I was getting to the last paragraph and I was going to say the end, I didn't really want to end it.
Right. That's why I'm glad that you're writing another book, and other books rather. Mm-hmm. And I also agree with Sandra. Like she said, I think that there's a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of something for everyone. In this book.
And without no spoilers for our audience, but I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts on the Oddlings? Do you have any favorite ones? These magical creatures that live within the Orphic Forest and the kingdoms of Illuminate.
I don't have any favorite ones, but I did like the story about the Oddlings. And I also like how Sandra says that she's going to write a story more to tell us more about the Oddlings. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
And so what is the story going to be? Is it going to be like their background?
Well,
they're probably going to get in a situation, I think.
right now, it's kind of a sideways story from what's in Nicholas.
So peripheral, okay.
Yeah.
A peripheral story.
About the magic.
You know how they were being oppressed. Well, what I'm working on right now and researching right now is how that oppression can be aided to dissolve, how it developed, and how to bring it to a resolution and still be of benefit to both the Oddlings and the humans.
I think one of the things that is characteristic of them is that they're magical, and I think when their magic becomes weakened, or begins to fade, that's an issue that we have to find out about.
Right.
And find out what the
and
cause of that is.
I think also what's great about this idea you have for the second story, this peripheral, is that it shows us that this is in fact a whole world, a whole universe of, it's not just this one story about Nicholas, but in fact, there are things that happen within the world that may or may not be within that storyline or that timeline. And I think that would be great to see.
Yeah, I think in the story that I'm writing right now, in the process of trying to complete, The Darkly Heart, I brought in a lot of new characters too.
Yes.
And so I think you could probably compare it to Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, because it's in that same vein.
And as with everything in reality, when you use magic, there's a consequence.
Yes.
So what I want to find out in the book that I'm writing and haven't finished writing and outlining is, what is the consequence to the magical being that uses the magic?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then is that consequence the same if a human takes it and uses it?
So what other thoughts do you have, dear reader, about Nicholas?
I was gonna say that, like, your first question was like, what did you think that there was a lot of magic? Well, I feel like Christmas is magic. You know, when you think about Christmas, when you think about Santa, everything is magic. So I feel like writing this book, the originals of Nicholas, and including magic, was actually perfect.
Oh, yes.
I feel like this was the way to tell the story. I feel like it cannot be told any other way. There's a lot of magic about Christmas, so it makes sense that there's magic about Nicholas.
Oh, absolutely.
Very
absolutely.
good. So may I ask you a question a little bit off cue? What age of reader do you think is appropriate for this book? As a reader, what age do you think this is appropriate?
Well, I myself, I'm in my late 30s. I enjoyed it.
It's a good age. It's a good age.
I definitely think that people who I feel like it could be it's appropriate for anybody. But I also think that I think teenagers mostly would definitely also enjoy this book. But I actually think it's for everybody.
Well, you've heard it, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard it.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah, I really think that a lot of teenagers could enjoy this book. But the person who recommended this book to me was in her late 60s.
Oh, wonderful.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, this story is for anyone of all ages, whether you're 60 or 16. And if you're interested in picking up the book, you can visit our Facebook page, Troop Books. You can visit our TikTok and our Instagram to Troop Books, and you can visit troopbooks.com, TROUPE, where you can find the author page at Ewing's Publishing, and you can pick up a hardcover or a softcover. And hopefully next time I can talk with you here on Conversations with an Authors. Thank you so much, Chico. We love and appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, guys. And thank you for writing this book, guys. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. You have yourself a great day.
I look forward to seeing you at McCormick so you can sign my book, Sandra.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yay.
We will see you there. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.